This ABC 15 Flash Briefing is sponsored by Sanderson Ford. Straight up.
Hi, I'm Steve Irvin with your top stories from ABC15 Arizona. COVID-19 and schools and Maricopa County health leaders are meeting with education administrators this afternoon, discussing COVID and keeping kids safe inside of schools during the Omicron wave. Health leaders going over the new isolation and quarantine recommendations for schools that are consistent with CDC guidelines. Those guidelines require people who test positive to be isolated for 5 days, followed by 5 additional days of wearing a mask whenever they're around others. The county also rolling out a new quarantine tool to help the public understand how many days they should be quarantining. The purpose of the meeting was to help schools understand the new guidance.
Parts of this new guidance is that ability to wear a mask. If at any point in this guidance it says that as part of your isolation or your quarantine that you wear a mask, if you are unable or unwilling to wear a mask during that period of time, then your isolation or quarantine is extended at home.
The county health department will present their plan to the public soon. Arizona Senator Sen Cinema facing backlash from some Democratic supporters after refusing to change the filibuster rule. But she did win the admiration of Arizona Governor Doug Ducey, the governor crediting Senator Cinema for standing up for what she believes in.
Has existed for a long time, and this idea of getting to a majority and building consensus and bipartisan consensus is something that we've done on over 90% of the legislation we've been able to achieve at the state level, and I'm glad that she's trying to bring people together.
Republican political consultant Stan Barnes thinks Arizona is witnessing an extraordinary event in our political history, a first-term senator taking on the White House and her own party over principle. The Yavapai County Sheriff's Office asking for your help to solve a decades-old cold case, the remains of a little girl. They are calling her Little Miss Nobody. They were discovered more than 60 years ago. Sheriff's officials say the body of the young girl between 3 and 6 years old was discovered in a sand wash back in July of 1960 off Alamo Lake Road in Yavapai County. Investigators don't have many clues as to what happened, but they did rule the case a homicide. DNA samples have been taken at least twice. One was no good, but within the past few months, a lab in Texas was able to get a good sample. It'll cost thousands of dollars to run proper tests, and that's why the Sheriff's Department is looking to raise the remaining $4,000.
What we want to do for, like I said, for 62 years is, give this little girl a name. If nothing else, just be able to give her a last name and bury her with a proper headstone with her last name on it.
If you would like to donate, go to DNAsolves.com and search for Little Miss Nobody. Tonto National Forest officials taking a new approach when it comes to preventing fires near Globe for the first time in about 10 years. They're going to do prescribed burns near Globe on the San Carlos Apache Indian Reservation, which borders it. The project starts next month, about 8 to 10 miles north of where the Telegraph fire was last year. The Globe District Ranger says the intensity of the fires in that area has really picked up over the last few years.
It's time for a change. It's the best way to describe it. It's just our environment is changing around us in so many ways. Folks that live here in these communities have been heavily impacted. And so for us to make sure that they understand and know what's going on, it's going to be a very important piece to this. And that's our job to get that information out there through every avenue that we can.
Every time they do a prescribed burn, he says they're going to notify residents ahead of time so they know when and where it'll take place.